Hello, friends. This is Professor Googlov. Today's video will be a little unusual, but I'm sure you will like it. So, get comfortable and let's go. Austin Spirit. Austin Spirit was a 26,000-ton ferry that operated in the United Kingdom and was owned by the English ferry company P&O Ferries. The vessel had been sailing the seas since 1987. The ship was originally called the Pride of Calais, but the name was changed several times over the decades. In 2013, the Austin Spirit became owned by Trans-Europe Ferries, which declared bankruptcy the same year. Unable to pay the Ferries employees, the company decommissioned the Austin and sent it to its final resting place in a Turkish landfill in the spring. Thus, the Austin Spirit made an impressive last voyage. It may look like an accident. But what if we told you it was done on purpose? The captain's job was to thread the needle between the two ships. He pushed the pedal, pressed the horn, and executed a perfect docking. A scrapyard in Aliağa, Turkey is full of dead co-Rableys. If you zoom in on Google Maps, you can see dozens of other ships pulled ashore. Tasman. Hoogezand is a Dutch town 2 hours east of Amsterdam. It has an extensive shipbuilding industry. Here is the Bodeus Royal Dockyard, known for building sturdy cargo ships. But you can't just build ships on the water. You make them on land and then push them out into the ocean. On February 18, 2019, Bodeus was preparing to launch its newest vessel, the Tasman. The 90-meter, 3,000-ton vessel was launched sideways into the channel. Just as it was about to slide into the water, a member of staff noticed something stuck underneath the Tasman. Watching the man in black standing at the front of the vessel. That was a very close call. Train wreck. On October 18, 2010, residents of Metairie, Louisiana, saw a Canadian National Railway carriage pass through the Jefferson Parish neighborhood. As the train approached a crossing between two tracks, a worker came out to flip a switch. The train started moving again, but then something went terribly wrong. The locomotive made it through the intersection, but the 91 cars were so unlucky. We apologize in advance for the shrill sounds. We're all lucky Ray was there to capture it on camera. The Canadian National Railway Company has launched an immediate investigation into the cause of the derailment. Unfortunately, we were unable to find the necessary information in its official report. Fortunately, the railcars were not carrying toxic chemicals. All the cars were carrying grain to a railroad station west of the city. And 225. In the last days of the Cold War, Soviet engineers had a unique dream. They wanted to build the world's largest airplane. And 225. Ukrainian engineers made this dream a reality, and the Mariah took to the air in 1988. It's funny that Mariah is a Ukrainian word meaning dream. Mariah didn't fly that often, but when it took to the air, it always drew a crowd of onlookers. Watching this Leviathan land and take off was a sight to behold. On January 9, 2022, spectators in Poland watched the plane land. No one knew at the time that this was the last time the Mariah went on a flight. On February 25, 2022, the Mariah was destroyed in a hangar in the battle for Antonov Airport in Kiev, along with an unfinished satellite plane. Mariah was undergoing maintenance and was unable to take off when the attack began. Ukraine estimates it will take about 5 years and $3 billion to recover the aircraft. The city of Toledo. Toledo City is a coastal city in the central Philippines known as the City of Electricity, because it is home to several companies that provide electricity to the entire Visayas region. This explains why this cargo ship was carrying 18,000 tons of coal in June 2020, but does not explain why its engine suddenly failed. Workers watched in horror as the freighter lost control and crashed into a neighboring dock. According to witnesses, the ship's engine accidentally failed and the captain lost control of the vessel and could only watch as the ship was carried into the pier's reloading dock. Based on Google Maps, we think this accident happened outside of Cebu Energy Development Corporation, in the heart of downtown Toledo. This is the only port with a conveyor belt leading from the pier to the plant. Parasailing. Thrill seekers love parasailing. There's nothing better than being towed behind a speedboat and flying hundreds of meters high. But every extreme sport comes with risks. That's why before you go parasailing you should sign a contract that the company is not responsible for anything that happens to you. On November 24, 2015, a couple vacationing in Turkey decided to go parasailing. Everything was going great, the couple had an amazing view of the Turkish coastline in front of them, and then tragedy struck. Luckily, everyone was fine. Obviously, someone wasn't paying attention. We don't know if it was the driver of the motorboat or the captain of the yacht. In any case, the parachute rope caught on the mast and pulled the men towards the yacht. Fortunately, the rope broke before the people flew closer. Take this video as a lesson for your next parasailing trip. Always wear a life jacket. Military fighter planes. Military fighter planes are some of the most impressive pieces of equipment. They can perform incredibly cool maneuvers, break the sound barrier and launch missiles at speeds of over 1,500 kilometers per hour. But when they are not in combat, we prefer to use these aircraft as stunt planes. The Royal International Air Tattoo is the world's largest military air show. Nearly 200,000 people flock to Fairford Military Air Base in the English county of Gloucestershire to watch these airplanes work their magic. At the 2016 show, viewers saw why the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor is one of the best in class. The acceleration of gravity during such a vertical climb must be incredible. That's why it takes years of training before you are allowed to approach one of these airplanes. And in the Czech Republic, another stunt pilot demonstrated his skills, this time in a Russian fighter jet. We'll let you judge for yourself which stunt is more impressive, but one thing is for sure. Both stunts require years of practice and a little bit of insanity. A sinking yacht. Somewhere in South Africa, a man decided to move his $1 million yacht. We don't know exactly why it was lifted out of the water. Maybe the yacht broke down, or maybe it just needed to be moved to another location. Workers tied ropes to the yacht and tried to pull it onto the dock. The crane should have been able to support the weight of the boat, but obviously someone miscalculated. It's a luxury yacht sinking in a muddy river. The vessel collided with a dock, it flipped over and fell into the water upside down, sinking within minutes. We'd like to know how the workers explained this to their supervisor, not to mention the owner of the yacht. Spinning helicopter. We all know how helicopters work. The upper rotors spin and create enough lift to lift the helicopter off the ground. According to NASA, helicopter blades rotate at 400 to 500 revolutions per minute. The cameras work in a similar fashion. They capture moving images in frames per second. A low frame per second speed looks like a cartoon you drew in your notebook at school. High speed looks like a Hollywood movie. And that's what happens when RPM and frames per second are the same. No, it's not a glitch in the sensor or a magic helicopter. What you're seeing is pretty easy to do if you know how to handle your camera. The rotating helicopter blades correspond to the frames per second and shutter speed of the camera, which gives the illusion that they are not rotating. In reality, the camera captures the propeller blades in the same position every time. Well, as I promised, the video was interesting. So, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.